Hello, welcome back to our review of Beowulf. We'll start with fit number 14, XIV, line 925. Hrothgar is responding to Beowulf and praising Beowulf because he's taken a stand now. He said he's going to do the deed. He's going to take care of Grendel. So Hrothgar says, "This hero now by the wielder's might a work has done that not all of us erst could do by wile and wisdom." Okay, that is, he's torn off the arm of Grendel. The next lines, many people have pointed to as echoing, of course, the "Blessed be the fruit of thy womb," the words of Simeon to Mary. "Lo, well she can say, whoso of women this warrior bore among sons of men, if still she liveth, that the God of all ages was good to her in the birth of her bairn." Tolkien, however, points out that that kind of language is fairly common in the ancient world. "Now, Beowulf, thee of heroes best I shall heartily love as mine own, my son. Preserve thou ever this kinship new." Okay, so a very personal response to Beowulf, and I made this point earlier that these comitatus relationships are often presented as, which they are, political arrangements and economic arrangements, but that does not take away their emotional character. Okay, so Hrothgar sees Beowulf as a son. And then we have an interesting comment about Unferth. He's not named only as the son of Ecglaf in line 980. "More silent seemed the son of Ecglaf in boastful speech of his battle deeds, since Athelings all through the earl's great prowess beheld that hand." Okay, so now he's not so smart-alecky about the claims of Beowulf. Book fit number 15, I'll more or less skip over. It's mostly continuing the action of Hrothgar giving the gifts to Beowulf and Beowulf distributing them to his men. But then we have another digression. Actually, I may move fairly quickly through this too, because while it is it's important to scholars because it gives us a glimpse into another famous battle and another famous tale cycle. In fact, a fragment of the fight at Finnsburg, as it's often called, or the Frisian slaughter, as Tolkien calls it. Fit number 16 tells the story of Finn. And so just as the Shope, in celebrating Beowulf, sings the song of Sigmund, so he also sings the song of Finn, the Frisian captain, the Frisian lord. "Hrothgar's singer the hall-joy woke amid the mead seats, making his song of that sudden raid on the sons of Finn." That's line 1070 and following. This is another one of the many stories of feuds and revenge. Hildeburh is married to Finn, and it may be a reflection of the queens in Beowulf too. One of the words for queen or wife is freavuweb, peace weaver. And so very often that's one of the ways in which a feud can be defused. If somebody kills your brother, your moral responsibility is to kill his brother or his cousin, or to get back at the family. But of course, that ends up eliminating everybody, right? Because if you take that to its logical conclusion, then everybody is obligated to kill absolutely everybody. Okay, so you end up with no Scandinavians at all, which I mean, if that happened, then where would Volvos come from, and where would we get smorgasbord? So we can't have that. So so there are three ways in which that can be diffused. One is the way that Hrothgar did it for Beowulf's father. Beowulf paid the weregild, the man price. Okay, so by paying that. The other way, of course, is by revenge, by killing somebody else. But a third way is through marriage. Okay, so I can kind of short circuit this this battle by giving my daughter to you in marriage, and so that's what they appeased Finn in that way. The Scyldings did. That is the ancestors of Hrothgar, and a Scylding named Hulk had a son. Had a daughter, Hildeburh, and he married her to Finn, and so they lived happily ever after, right? Well, not exactly, because Hildeburh's brother Hanaf was still seething over the death of his countrymen, and so it breaks out eventually, and in fact, Finn ends up killing Hraf, and Finn gets killed also, and also Hildeburh's son. So she loses her whole family, and everybody dies, and that's the story of Finn. So that's Fitts 16, and concluded in Fitts 17. And so the narrator signals the end of the Finn digression by line 1160, saying, "The lay was finished, the gleeman's song." Okay, digression is a kind of a traditional term for these little stories, but is probably a misnomer, because a digression implies that we're leaving the main subject of the poem. But it's not the way that narrative is understood in this way. There a lot of the early criticism. In fact, there's a whole category in Kleber's famous edition, looking at all of the studies that came before him on what he called the lack of steady advance. Okay, criticizing the plot of Beowulf, but in fact, inserting these non-related incidents, in fact, are not digressions. They work as literary allusions, right? We are supposed to understand, and it's not that hard. It's not rocket science to see that the story of Siegfried has a bearing on Beowulf, and the story of Finn has a bearing on the future of Beowulf. Beowulf's race is doomed to extinction because these feuds are about to occur. Beowulf appears at a time when, in fact, his people and Hrothgar's people had been, over the past generations, prosecuting a similar kind of feud. So there had been wars between the Swedes and the Danes, and Beowulf's action here is a kind of a cementing of that relationship, a stopping of the hostilities. The sadness of the tone, however, is that the audience knows that that's doomed, that truce, that the good relations between Danes and Yats are doomed to disappear. Okay, so book Fit number 18, XVIII. Wealhtheow comes down again, bringing gifts for Beowulf before she came bearing the cup, and now the other part of the comitatus relationship is the monarch handing out gold. So she too hands out gold. So as I said before, Jane Chance points out that far from being a menial task, this is, in fact, this shows her authority. Of wounden gold she offered him, honor him, arm jewels twain, 91195. Ne'er heard I so mighty neath heaven's dome, a hoard gem of heroes, since Hama bore his bright-built burg, the Breezing's necklace. Okay, so that necklace of the Breezings is, in fact, the necklace that it has a great pedigree. All of the nobles are given pedigrees in this story, who the father is, who the grandfather is, but objects also, swords, and in this case a necklace is given the pedigree too, and we will watch it go from Beowulf to Higelac queen when he goes back to Yetland, and then its future fate will be told. Okay. Well, that takes us to the end of Fitts XVIII, and so we begin with Fitts XIV, X-I-X, line 1251, in our next exciting episode. Until then, God bless you.